Hello everyone, welcome back to Chill Trades, where I break down the market so you know what's going on. Today we're going to be covering the airline industry, more specifically JETS ETF stock. We're going to kind of break down why it could potentially be a really good time to buy for the coming couple months. If you're here and you haven't hit the sub button, please go ahead and sub. We're trying to get to 500 subs and we're quickly getting there, so I really appreciate all the support from everyone. But let's jump into things. So the first thing I want to say is, if you've never heard of JETS ETF, basically it's a stock that I would say somewhat follows the average of the airline industry. There's a bunch of different airlines in there, and it kind of tracks the overall performance and gives us an average return. And so the first reason I like this is because, actually I'm going to bring up this chart right now. The first reason I like it is because we do see a pretty big variation in the returns of airline stocks. As we can see here, something like Southwest, has pretty much significantly outperformed all the other airlines. And so moving forward, as I think there was a dip that could potentially have some more upside, I personally have a hard time distinguishing what I think is going to outperform in the short term compared to the other ones. Like if I buy Southwest right now, because it's stronger, does that mean it's going to be stronger moving forward? Or is something like DAL, that's kind of performed all right, which is a pretty good airline, maybe that's going to perform more in the short term or the intermediate term? And so I think buying JET is a great alternative to just tracking the average, and then we'll break down. Let's get into breaking down some of the news about why I think just buying the JETS is probably the way to go. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of jump into some positive news lately. So the first thing is that we've had news come out, a lot of news come out the last couple of weeks about airlines, and the first one is just United Airlines say they're increasing U.S. Resort destinations, and so I think this is pretty big because I think it's people flying places in the summer, and as we head into the end of summer, to warm destinations to go on vacation. If you think about it, now that I would say over 50% of people have had their COVID shots, people are feeling a lot more safe to travel, and so people are ready to get out and they're ready to go visit somewhere more than an hour away from their house. They're going to go fly to these really amazing destination spots like Florida. Here we have Mexico, Caribbean, Arizona's on here. That's a surprise to me, but these are the areas that people want to go and visit. They want to be by the beach. They want to be in a beautiful location, and so I think we're seeing we're going to continue to see over the next few months a big demand of people wanting to travel around, and that's going to help airlines like United Airlines and others. And so kind of going to my next point is we got news that United Airlines actually put in a humongous order for new jets or new planes. So I think it's their largest order ever of 270 planes, which is a massive increase. And so someone isn't going to buy 300 new planes if they're not expecting growth coming. And so I think this is potentially something we're going to see from other airlines too. If you think during COVID, some of the airlines had to sell off some of their inventory to help supplement the business financially. And so I think we're going to continue to see more airlines start to purchase more planes, at least the ones who are expecting more success for their business. And so this is something to keep an eye on to see if more airlines continue purchasing. And if they do, then we're going to probably get a little push for other airlines as well. But that's why we like JETS, is because no matter who's doing what, we're going to get the average returns for what I believe is more upside in the intermediate term for airlines. The next thing I want to say, next thing I want to go to is that more recently, because of some of the change of restrictions, we're seeing an increase of bookings across all airlines and all travel. And so just here, booking for flights and holiday has surged after the decision that fully vaccinated travelers to certain I would say the countries that are on the list or places that are on the list don't have to self-isolate after July 19th. And so obviously a big thing that was keeping people from traveling internationally was that they have to go somewhere and hang out for 2 weeks by themselves. And so seeing some of those restrictions start to pull back, we're going to also see an increase of international travel. And as you know, those are the big tickets for the airlines. They're typically really expensive flights, and so that's going to bring a lot more revenue. So that's another positive news. Something that's interesting that I saw is that Delta Airlines is actually expecting to beat earnings, and so this is kind of, I would say, another reason why I like jets compared to individual stocks is I don't know who's doing better and not doing better right now. I can dive into all the finances and try to speculate, but by buying jets, we're gonna outperform regardless if one does good and one does bad. We're going to get somewhat of that average. And so those are the kind of returns I want in this market. Is I want to make sure that I'm making money and not losing money. So buying something like jets, as all the airlines report over basically the next 3 weeks. And so something like jets is going to get positive momentum get positive price action from the stocks that do beat and move up on their earnings. Something interesting, and I think this is probably going to end soon, is there's a shortage in pilots and faster than expected growth in demand, and so there could be a lot of reasons for this. No ads here. There could be a lot of reasons for this, but I think this is something to pay attention to. Is because airlines don't have as many pilots, they have to basically have less flights, and because less flights means prices are higher, and so higher prices mean larger profit margins, and larger profit margins mean more money being made. And so that's another thing to think on, is as we see these increased prices, people want to fly. And because people want to fly and they want to go places because they haven't, they're going to be willing to pay a little bit more of a premium. And so that's going to benefit the airlines. Now I want to go into some more questionable, I think aspects that we have to look out for. Is I think the biggest thing is the COVID D variant. And so news came out from LA that they've seen, what's up with all these ads? They've seen a 165% increase in COVID cases. Obviously, COVID cases have come down significantly, but we are starting to hear more news about specific states and cities seeing a really big increase in cases. And so this is something to keep an eye on, because just like here, where is the news at? Germany basically imposed restrictions on travelers arriving from the European Union and UK. And so because of the Delta variant, we are seeing more places start to restrict again. And so I think this is going to be the biggest question mark for airlines, I would say, after the summer months. I think there's still going to be a lot of demand. I don't think things are going to slow down in the short term, but these are things to start thinking about the long term, as this is a big question mark. And that if the D variant starts to become a bigger deal, that airlines is going to be one of the first industries that's hurt the worst. And so this is something to keep an eye on. We also saw it with Tokyo, them saying that they're going to ban spectators, which is a really huge deal. Obviously, a lot of people would want to fly for the Olympics and check that out. Ooh, I got a message. You should come to our Discord. The link is in the description. We're a growing community there, so go check that out. But that's just some of the news I wanted to cover. A little longer than I expected, but let's go into the chart and, technically speaking, why I think go join the Discord. As you can see, those messages popping up. But this is the main reason why I'm a buyer right now of jets. And so the first thing that I see is that we've come down into the overbought territory, which is a potential move off of that and some positive momentum over the coming weeks or months. Along with hitting the oversold territory, we also tested the 200-day SMA, and we bounced off of it. If we zoom in, we bounced below it, and then we closed above the 200 SMA. And then not only did we close above the 200 SMA, we also had a confirmation the next day. So that's a really bullish sign that we were able to close above the 200-day after breaking below. And then we have a confirmation the next day. That's super bullish. We also have this somewhat downward trading channel, and we also bounced off the bottom of that trading channel. So in theory, you go up, down, up, down, up, down. And so in theory, we should be going back to the top of the range. And that's why I have somewhat of like a 26, 27, or 25 to $27 price target for this coming up. But those are three indicators telling me that maybe we found an intermediate bottom and we could be seeing positive momentum to the upside. I think next week as a market opens, the most important thing is that we can break above this price action. So if we go back here, this is where we broke out initially to the upside. And so we're going to have to break above here next week. on Monday, you know, we might get a little softness in the maybe Monday or Tuesday, or maybe just half of a day, but we really want to see that break to the upside, because we'll be breaking above downward trend lines, and we'll be breaking above this really important resistance area. If we can break above that important resistance area and get back above this trend line, if we zoom out, we have a long-term trend line from the beginning of COVID. You know, today we're basically testing it, and we're right above it. So if we can break above important resistance, get above back this trend line, and kind of tear our way back up, or even drastically go a little higher than that, up to the 26 range, those are things I'm going to want to look for. As we move higher, you know, the 24 range is really important. The next really important range is 2475, and again, it's just a lot of we have a lot of points that bounced off that range, and so those are the short intermediate time frames. But if we can break through those two, then I would say we're going to have positive momentum to the $25 or the $27 price range over the coming months. So those are just a few things to look out for. So you guys, the messages, we message in the Discord group. Go join that group. But I'm really curious what you think. Where do you think the stock is going? Jets, do you think airlines are going to continue to outperform? Or do you think they're down for more of a short, they're going to be heading to more downside? I keep getting distracted by the messages. Headed more to the downside. But yeah, thanks for watching that video. It's a Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And this weekend, as I say, as always, I'll be doing a live stream with me and my buddy who started the Discord. We live stream on Twitch every Saturday and Sunday. Dude, I forgot to exit out my Discord before the video. But we live stream every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we'll do nothing but, Saturdays we do gaming, and we talk about the stock market news, our predictions, what we think, how's it looking. And on Sunday nights, I have a Sunday free-for-all where you can come to the chat, ask me about any stock, and we'll chart it live on stream like I do in my videos. So the link for that, for the Discord group, and the Twitch will be in the description. It's called Stock Talk Game at Twitch. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching this video. We might have one up tomorrow on Saturday, but if not, then you can see me tomorrow on stream, or I'll make a video on Sunday. So see you then, guys.